Lead me to Dolores! Lead me to Dolores! Okay, I'll stop now. It's just a very cool character, and I just thought I had to do it, so... okay, I'll stop now. Hi, I'm Beau, and welcome to another recap. Today we're recapping the next Transformers Robots in Disguise episode, that being one of our Minicons is missing. Now, from the title, you should know that reference because it is it's from I think it was a 1970s or 40s film. If you know the reference, you are even cooler, and you know a lot more about movies than I do. So, let's get down to about this episode. So, okay, let's start off with the beginning. Russell is pretty much hanging out with his buddies, Butch and the girl, I can't remember her name, I'm sorry. He's hanging out with all of them, and the girl's basically telling Russell, like, yo, you have to stand up for yourself, because, you gotta defend yourself, you gotta be muscular, you gotta be stronger, and Russell, therefore, is telling Butch, like, look, dude, I know you threw that football, but you threw a little bit higher than I was expecting. What are you gonna do about it? It's pretty much the face that he had. And after that, he's pretty much been a little bit muscular, a bit more of a bigger, better Russell, which I kind of appreciate. Afterwards, he heads back to the base, and the an escape pod comes down onto the scrapyard, and it is not a new Decepticon, if you're all thinking. It is apparently a returning Transformer, and that is the Minicon known as Jetstorm, one of Drift's Minicons. Now, Jetstorm apparently ran away from Drift for reasons that we do not know until the middle of the episode. Jetstorm wants to be one of Russell's students. That's why he calls him Commander Russell. And Russell is kind of shocked. He's really shocked. He's like, really? Man. And I thought I had to deal with kids when I was older. No, I have to deal with a robot now. God. Now, what follows up after this is that apparently when Jetstorm's escape pod landed on the scrapyard, it apparently hit a few stasis pods, and returning characters were able to escape their stasis pods, and that'd be Quillfire and Springload. And I'm very, very happy that they are returning characters that we've seen in previous episodes. I'm very happy that it's not like a brand new character. I love that we're just, introducing brand new characters. Not brand new characters. I love that we're introducing old characters back into the newer episodes. And I like the characters of Quillfire and Springload. They both have interesting abilities, and seeing them work together is actually pretty interesting. And I would like to see more team-ups in the next following episode, which I hope we do. So what follows after this is that Drift comes to Earth with Slipstream, and they both find Jetstorm, and Russell again does his mean face and tries to talk to Drift and tell him, look, you have to handle your Minicons properly. You can't just come over all the way here just to yell at them some more. That's just rude. It's just abusive. What follows after this is that all the Autobots, including Drift and the Minicons, go after Springload and Quillfire. And Springload and Quillfire have found what appears to be a military base, and they find this huge, huge weapon, and it is humongous. And the very interesting thing about this is that they were able to, acquire this tank because, story. The weird thing is this humongous tank, almost triple dog the size of Quillfire and maybe Grimlock, they were able to blow a fence away, and the military did not even think about looking outside their windows and, see their weapon of mass destruction roll out on the road, occupied by 2 Decepticons. I'm just saying. It's funny, though. It's like they just left it there, and they're basically looking out the window. They're like, well, I guess that weapon's gonna go kill some people. Look, everybody, come over to the window. Look at that mushroom cloud. Ain't that beautiful? I just want to go on record and saying that was not a joke that I made on myself. That was a joke made by Jim Carrey. So if you want to see some Jim Carrey's performances, just go look on YouTube. He's pretty funny. Great comedian, by the way. So anyways, they occupy the tank, they're on the road, and they're just tearing things up, and Drift and the Minicons and all the Autobots are battling this huge tank, and I really like the battle. This is a really cool battle. It's kind of like fighting a giant, like it kind of reminds me of the Last Crusade, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. It reminds me of that movie because of this whole tank sequence they have, where Drift and the Minicons get into the tank and they try to reacquire Quillfire and Springload. It kind of feels like the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which is a pretty cool little nod if they did so. So good on them. They pulled a little trick right there. And I want to go back a little bit. When they were chasing the tank, there is this little thing that Denny and Russ always do when they disguise themselves, and how they get into things. Like, for example, like in a What Would Optimus Do episode, it was when Denny dressed up as kind of like a famous artist. Now in this episode, he is dressed up as a general. And if you look very closely at the cars they have for the military, some of those trucks are actually representations. Like the design of the trucks are actually based upon Beast Hunter's Optimus Prime's truck mode. Look very closely and you will see what I'm talking about, because that's very interesting that they would do that. That's a pretty cool little thing they put there. Pretty nice to see that. And you know what happens after that? They defeat the Decepticons. They're able to reacquire it, and the tank explodes, and save the day. They're able to go back to their stasis pods, and that. The cool thing about this episode is that Drift and the Minicons decide to stay on Earth, and now Drift, Jetstorm, and Slipstream are now part of the Autobot team, which is very great. I absolutely like it that we're going to see more of Drift and more of his character, because he's a pretty cool character, and I cannot wait to see him more in the next couple of episodes. And he's a pretty interesting character, and I'd like to see more of him. Overall, this is a pretty good episode. I really like it. This is definitely what the series needs. It's getting much better. I've loved the series. It's a pretty cool series, but I really like it that we're spicing it up, and I like it that it's getting a lot better and more involved than just your casual Decepticon of the Week episode. So that's it for this recap. I hope you guys enjoyed it. What do you guys think of this episode? And do you guys like it that Drift is now part of the team? So leave it in the comments below. I'd like to see what you guys think. That is it for this recap, and